Alright, so let's use a little bit of color. Maybe you have some crayons at home. What we're going to do today is look at a little color theory. So, this may be a review for a lot of you guys, but I just want you to look at it anyways. So we have, with color, we have our three primary colors. So we have color, C-O-L-R, color. And primary colors, P-R-I-M-A-R-Y. Primary colors, there are three. 1, 2, and 3. Those colors are red, blue, and yellow. Where's my yellow? Ah, broken. Now, with your primary colors, you can make secondary colors. Secondary colors are a mixture of two primary colors at a time. So if you look at our three options here, we can make three mixtures if we're only mixing two at a time. We can mix red and yellow, and that will make, well, we'll find out. We can do red plus blue, and we'll find out what that is. And we can do, well, can't do red with yellow, red with blue, and red with red would just be red itself again. So one more combination would have to be yellow and blue. All right. So, got my red there, red here, color in blue there, and blue here, yellow here, yellow here. Now you mix red and yellow together. I'm going to draw lightly here so I can mix them. So red and yellow mixed together. Comes out to be kind of an orangish color. And that is why it doesn't come out as well with crayons when you mix them, but you can get the effect. That's why they actually make an orange that's been pre-mixed to a more accurate level of the color you're used to. Red and blue, when you mix those two together, you're going to get a violet color. But that's also, again, why they make that in the crayon box too. And then yellow and blue. It's going to give you a greenish color. Now these don't look the same when I mix them from two colors as when they do come from the crayon that is labeled that secondary color itself. That is because they actually have people working in a factory to mix the exact right amount of pigment to make these other colors. Pigment is the actual material that goes into the crayon or any kind of thing like paint, watercolor paint, pens, markers, that gives you the different kinds of colors. And so because of the different ways those mix, they don't always come out as perfect as they do from the laboratories that they make these crayons and everything else in. But you can still get the similar ideas. So we've got orange, violet, and green. Now, what I want to see you guys, I want you guys to practice doing is making a color wheel with me. So we're going to start this color wheel off by drawing red to the middle, blue from that middle down to the side, and yellow on this side, almost like a little peace sign. Then I want to see what happens when I take the yellow over this way towards the red, getting lighter as I go towards the red, and then doing the same thing with red here, getting lighter as I come towards this way, fading into the yellow. I can get something kind of like orange there. I want to do the same thing with red, going down this way into the blue. Heavy and then lighter. And then blue, doing the same thing, heavy, but then getting lighter as I get into the red. And lastly, doing the same thing with blue, coming down this way, towards the yellow, getting lighter, and then yellow, heavy, getting lighter towards the blue. So what we have here is a color spectrum, but we only use 3 pigments. We used these 3. Now what I want to do is expand our color palette and try this again by adding in, we're going to use red and blue and yellow plus the secondary colors, orange, green, and violet. This time, by expanding our color palette to use what the factory made colors allow us to do, we can get a prettier array of colors. So let's start with red again. And fade a little bit that way and fade a little bit that way. And then we'll do yellow down this side, but not touching any red yet, just touching it in the middle, fading a little bit this way, fading a little bit that way, and then blue, fading a little bit this way, fading a little bit that way. Now, let's use those secondary colors and see what happens. We've got orange, will go between red and yellow. And draw it heavy right there, and fade it into the red. Heavy right there again, fading it into the yellow. A little bit different now. Then we'll use green, and between the two of blue and yellow, fading into the yellow, and fading into the blue. This gives us sharper, more saturated colors. Probably can see how much brighter the colors are now. Same thing with violet. Right here, fading into the red and fading into the blue. And that's it. Now you've probably often wondered why there's so many other colors in your crayon box too. And our last thing we're going to do here is we're going to expand this color palette even further. Between yellow and green, there is actually a color called yellow-green that they make in that factory to give you a more expanded color palette to work with. That means that they're giving you more tools to make your pictures closer to the colors you see in real life. So, that goes to say for each one of these, we have a red-orange, you have red-violet, blue-violet. Sometimes your blue-violet might be called indigo instead. I apologize. No, that's not true. Blue-violet. Indigo is actually a color right between blue-violet and blue. And green-blue, and so on and so forth. So let's start off this one by trying to use every single color, just to see how much more vibrant the colors come out to be. Start with red. Fade it a little bit this way, and a little bit that way. And then yellow. And lastly, blue. Next, let's go back, and this time now we'll use orange, but we're not going to fade it into anything else yet. We're just going to take it right here, fade it this way, but not into the red, and orange this way, but not into the yellow. And then we'll do the same thing with violet, between the blue and the red. Draw hard right there, then fade this way, but don't go into the red. And draw hard in the middle again and fade this way, but don't go into the blue. Lastly, we'll do the same with green. And now we'll use those other colors. The orange, red. Find orange, red. And between your red and your orange, we're going to draw right there, and then fade towards the red, and fade towards the orange. Next would be orange, yellow, or yellow, orange. I have to double check and make sure I have that one. And I do. Yellow, orange. To the naked eye, it almost looks just like orange, but it's slightly lighter than the orange crayon. Then yellow-green. This one's very light. Actually, I'm sorry, this is green-yellow. I need to say those in the correct order. And then blue-green. So between green and blue, you would use blue-green, which is right here. Pressing hard into the blue. And then from blue to violet, you would use we have blue-violet. Now, just for fun, I'm going to throw in the indigo right next to the blue first, and then the blue-violet next to that, going into the violet. And lastly, we'd have red-violet between violet and red. And there you have it.